dealing with anxiety and depression and panic attacks. You're dealing with brain fog, and you're trying to figure out where all this is coming from. You're dealing with bloating, PMSing, anxiety, mood swings, and you're depending on caffeine, you're depending on supplements, you're depending on a prescription. These are all signs to let you know that you're managing instead of dealing with the symptoms and actually healing these problems that you are having. And so instead of you healing and listening to these messages, you think that it's a malfunction and there's something wrong with your body. And when in reality, there's nothing wrong with your body, you're just not at peace. A lot of people's bodies have been hijacked by the habits that we have to the point where we don't know what peace feels like and what it looks like. And since your body is not feeling at peace anymore, you don't feel connected. And so then now you're sitting here thinking that there is something wrong with your body. There is something wrong with your system. That there is something off about your internal organs. There's something wrong with your cycle as a woman. There's something wrong with you and your hormones. Because this happens. We have millions of women dealing with the same issue, not knowing how to heal, not understanding what these symptoms mean. And then we're creating a snowball effect of chaos when it comes to us thinking that when we're tired we need caffeine, depending on the fact that if you're bloating you need to have a diet and you need to perform diet culture, right? Or you need to do keto or paleo or Weight Watchers. And this disconnects you from not only your organs internally, which makes you throw off your hormones, but it's also making you disconnect from your womb and what it needs. Because when you are not syncing with your cycle and supporting the body fully with the foods that you eat, you are disconnected from your womb. So then in return, your cycle is going to be painful. It's going to be irregular. You're going to be sitting here stressed out and not figuring out why you're so anxious. You're going to be sitting here dealing with issues of your body being overloaded because you've created this space that your body only can function in a place where you just push through. You're just making it by day. You're just hoping that everything works out. And from the inside out, your liver is sitting here dealing with the issue of you using toxic products on your skin, you eating toxic foods, you sitting here thinking that the stress that you have is external from work and kids, so then you eat your emotions. And your liver has to filter all these things, which is causing an overload, and this in return is making you go down the path of developing fatty liver disease. When you are not supporting the pancreas inside of the body, when you're not supporting yourself overall internally, when it comes to you balancing your blood sugar, when it comes to you making sure that you stabilize yourself, so you're not sitting here skipping meals thinking that this is the correct way for you to fast and not actually giving yourself stabilizers, consuming coffee full of sugar or consuming coffee in general thinking that this is a good healthy thing for you to consume so you can have energy and make it through your day. Consuming processed snacks and not knowing what the ingredients are making your pancreas overloaded and spiking your blood sugar. A lot of people don't realize this. When you are consuming processed snacks, especially from these highly praised companies, these well-known companies, you are sitting here eating and consuming a combination of unhealthy fats, unhealthy proteins, and then, unhealthy fats, unhealthy salts, and then an overload of sugar. And these three things are combined all together in your processed snacks to make you crave them more, stimulate your dopamine, and then not realize that you are hungry because it turns off your sensor for your body to let you know that you are full and that you are no longer hungry. And so then you go back and forth trying to figure out why you're still so hungry, even though you've eaten all these different snacks and these different foods. And then you're looking at this low calorie snack that they approve in keto or paleo, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. And you're thinking, okay, well, why is this not working? Because I'm in the calorie deficit that they told me to do, right? I'm calorie counting, I'm restricting, I'm fasting the way that they keep promoting. But in reality, you're just skipping meals and you're just eating food. You're not realizing that ingredients matter. What is inside of this snack? The calories, the numbers are not the problem. When you have titanium dioxide, sodium phosphate, citric acid all up in the food, and you don't know what any of these mean, that's a problem. When you're eating toxic, terrible processed sugars in these processed snacks that you're eating instead of natural sugars that can be used in these snacks, you are going to be addicted to these snacks more than what you normally would if you were using natural sugars. And so then you become obsessed with this, and now you're craving Oreos every time you see the package, or you're sitting here craving Doritos, and you're wondering why all of a sudden you're craving Doritos out of nowhere, which are empty calories full of salt and sugar. And you're trying to pinpoint how come you have all these cravings around your cycle, right? As women, because we have cravings around that time. But you have trained your body to crave the things that you eat. So if you eat a bunch of processed snacks, chips, you eat a bunch of empty calories, you eat a bunch of cookies and cake around that time, your body is naturally going to crave those things around your cycle. But when you train your body to crave natural sugars, or you don't throw your body off from what its natural chemistry is from the beginning, and you eat fruits and vegetables the way that you should be, you're consuming the way that you should be, your body will crave the things that it should be during the times of your phases of your cycle that you need to eat certain nutrients. But majority of society has been so heavily programmed into just eating what their cravings are when we're around that cycle. So then you sit here and you think, oh, okay, I'm on my cycle. I'm craving chocolate and I'm craving sugar. So I'm just going to give myself this sweet treat so that way I'm not hangry and I'm not sitting here emotionally consumed by this emotion of the fact that I want to eat this snack because it tastes so good. But in reality, your body is craving that chocolate and it's craving that sugar because your blood sugar is spiked and it's not balanced, as well as the fact that you probably need more fiber and healthy fats and proteins. And so then now you're sitting here thinking, your body goes, well, we eat a lot of sweets. And the sweet is going to stimulate my dopamine. It's going to make me feel good right now in the time that I'm not feeling good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to eat this. When you are sitting here dealing with the issue of your blood sugar being spiked, we should know this if you don't know this, but you do realize that you were in an insulin resistant state. That puts you in an insulin resistant state after so long of you spiking your blood sugar and your cells can no longer respond to the sugar that you were consuming. And when your gut is overloaded with all of the things that you eat because you don't know how to read your labels, nor do you understand how just doing a little gut tincture or you were calorie counting and restricting is not the way to rebalance your gut. You thinking that a gut supplement is the way for you to completely rebalance your gut. But you can't rebalance a pH inside of your gut if you're still eating the terrible toxic foods. So in reality, in order for you to support your systems, you have to start using food as your medicine. If your gut is inflamed and you're confused why you're bloated, or that you're confused why you feel inflamed and you feel uncomfortable and you feel overrun by the weight that you have or what you're holding on to in your gut, don't think that it's because you have a lack of discipline, but realize it's a lack of knowledge that you have around flushing your system and eating for the body. A lot of people are dealing with dehydration on a cellular level, and we don't realize this. And when you're not eating enough fruits, when you're not eating enough water-based fruits and vegetables, when you're not consuming enough plant-based foods, you are going to be dehydrated on a cellular level, as well as lacking oxygen. Because these two foods, fruits and vegetables, are going to give you oxygen and hydration on a cellular level that is deeper than what you get from you thinking that you just need to drink water all day, these 8 glasses or whatever else that they promote now. Because I don't know what it was, but back in the day when I was a kid, it was 8 glasses, and I tried to wrap my brain around how in the world are we supposed to drink 8 glasses of water a day, right? And so we weren't taught the fact that you can eat your water and you can eat your hydration and you can eat your oxygen as well. And so when you realize that these two things can be eaten, you understand that there's a difference between you drinking your water and eating your water, which both are important. But if you're not eating your water, you are lacking hydration and it's affecting your kidneys. And so this is also affecting your flow of your blood. And there are many women out here dealing with anemia, iron deficiency in general, an overload of bleeding during their cycle. And these things are affected by your kidneys. They're affected by your inflammation. They're affected by your detoxification. And each of these aspects are controlled and tailored by your liver, your pancreas, your gut, and your kidneys. Because your hormones are being balanced inside of your pancreas as well as in your liver. Because your insulin is a hormone. Your liver is your detoxification. So when you have too much estrogen, if you have too much progesterone, and et cetera, your liver is supposed to get rid of that and expel that. Your gut holds on to things if your pH is not high enough, which causes your digestive tract to be backed up. So you have to realize that when you are dehydrated, you're putting more stress on your organs and more stress on your body. On top of the fact that a lot of y'all have no nutritional value in the foods that you eat. And that includes when you're thinking that you're eating meat and you're eating dairy and you're getting your protein intake. Because a lot of y'all are not realizing majority of the food that you are eating when it comes to the meat, so you're eating chicken, beef, pork, all whatever you're eating when it's meat based, as well as dairy, your body is having to do more work to digest and to expel these heavy duty things to process through your body. That's the way that I want to say it. And so your body has to go through a process to digest these things. And this isn't an easy process for your body to go through. It's about the same as you eating a processed snack. Is that your body has to sit here and break it down, decompose it, and then use it as something. But when it can't use it and convert it into energy because it's having to digest so much, you're not really getting that many benefits from the foods that you're eating, the way that you are promoted to get this for your healthy protein and your healthy fat, because your body's having to do more to expel and digest it than use it. Because you don't want to hold on to rotting, decaying meat, right? We know what happens when you leave something rotting and decaying. It attracts parasites. It decays slowly. It molds. There are different aspects of what happens when you leave rotting meat on the side of the street, right? You see things starting to come pick at it, bugs, maggots, all these different things. Think about what's happening inside of your body when your digestive tract is not flowing the way that it should be because everything else has been thrown off. Your gut pH is not high enough. Your liver is not detoxifying the way that it should be. Your pancreas is overloaded. Your kidneys are overloaded. And you're all dehydrated and lacking nourishment. And this is causing your hormones to wave a red flag around saying, hey, I need help. And instead of you realizing that these symptoms are a sign to let you know that it needs help, you're thinking that these symptoms are annoyances, and that you need to silence them with a prescription, with a surgery. You're going to the doctor and you're complaining and they tell you, hey, take birth control now. This will balance your hormones. Instead of realizing that these are signals to let you know that you are out of balance with your body. You are not in sync. Because these signals are not the problem. These are signs to let you know that you have a problem. But these signals are not the problem. And how I know this, and I was working with my client this week. This is what I mean by transformation does not take long when you're doing it correctly in the correct space and the correct strategy. I was working with my client this week and she was having problems last week. So I think it was like the 18th or something. She had messaged me and let me know that she was having different pains. She was uncomfortable. She was struggling. We had a session, a master class. We had this on Monday. We had this master class on Monday. Today she messaged me and let me know she is no longer, and I posted this on my story. You can look at the screenshots if you want to see exactly what she said, quoted word for word. She let me know that she was no longer dealing with the neck pain and body pains that she was having. And she didn't even let me know this initially. And so she also let me know that not only was she not dealing with the body pains anymore after we had our session on Monday, but she also is getting better sleep. And this was all by us talking about getting our mindset right and using food as our medicine. That was the only thing that we talked about on Monday, was living intentionally and flowing energetically. That is the masterclass that we had. It is linked in my bio if you want to check it out. To really digest and to understand that it's all about the intention of what you put in. If you are living with intention and consuming with intention, your body is going to give back to you. And she feels that, and she sees that now. And she's feeling confident in it. She's not emotionally sitting here thinking that there's something wrong with my body and my hormones are off, and so I'm going to be this way for the rest of my life. But she understands how your body speaks a different language. And body language is a thing outside of just like seduction or flirting and things like that. But it's deeper than that. Are you just being friendly? But it's actually deeper on an energetic level, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. The body language is your signals that your body is giving to you. So when your body is speaking to you through the language that it knows, you need to listen. And so now here she is in a space where not only is she feeling good and she's starting to flow into the space of being plant-based, but she's figuring out and seeing the results on her own by taking action. Because it never would have happened if she would have stuck in that hard time and then went to her doctor crying about the pain that she was having, and then was feeling guilty about what was going on and how she didn't do the plant-based regimen that she had, and would have sat there and said, well, it's not going to work, and then sat there and said, you know what, I give up and quit. Shaming yourself because you have a bad week, shaming yourself because you have a slip up, is never going to help you heal. And society has been so heavily trained into making you feel bad for being human that now we deal with the emotional toll through eating instead of balancing, instead of understanding that that emotional toll is because you have trained to survive. You've been trained to survive instead of learning how to balance and to heal, because that's what we're trained into: survival mode, make it through, push through. And that's not what we're designed to do. Especially as women, we are supposed to be syncing with our cycle. We shouldn't be sitting here with overinflamed organs and then not knowing how to be spiritually sound, not how to be emotionally sound. PMSing is something that society has made normal, but it's not normal. It's common. Let me rephrase that. Society has made PMSing common, but that's not normal. It's a common thing millions of women deal with, but it's not normal. The reason why y'all are PMSing so bad isn't just because it's in your head. It's your gut, it's your cells, it's your spiritual alignment, and they're needing reset. And you're not doing this thing, but instead you're sitting here on autopilot. And that's what my client, that was the space that she was in. My client was feeling disconnected and she was on autopilot. Go look at my story. Literally, that story this morning, I messaged her just to check in and say hi. I was not expecting her to come back with a, oh, by the way, like this and this has happened, because we were sending messages back and forth before then. She's already feeling the result. And this is less than a week. This is less than 5 days of us just having a class together and talking about and establishing what regimen, what plan we're going to have. She went to the grocery store. She planned out what she was going to do because she has a nursing job. So she has a lot of work that she has to do in between during her day, as well as when she gets home and takes care of her babies. This was 4 days of work. And it's already transformed not only how her body feels when it comes to pain, but how her body is now resting. And do you understand why that now she's getting that rest? Because I broke this down to her in the class, and I'm going to give you a little snippet of like what you get in that masterclass if you want to grab that replay. And it has a bundle bonus going on right now that is a limited time. If you don't get it between the number of spots that I have, you won't get the bundle. When you are sitting there dealing with no stabilizers, you're not nourishing your body. When you are not helping your body overall cleanse and to reset itself and to be balanced, in general, you are going to be off. But specifically every single day, if you are not using stabilizers when it comes to your insulin, when it comes to your blood sugar, you are never going to be able to rest and actually gain energy from that rest. Because when you go to sleep, that is the time that your body is supposed to reset itself. And the reason why society is so tired and it's not resetting itself, especially women, because we overwork ourselves more than what we're supposed to do, because that's what society has trained us into. So when you're sitting here dealing with the issue of the fact that you have no stabilizers throughout the day, you eat and you consume processed snacks, meat, dairy, and etc., and then you go and you lay down and you go to bed thinking that this is your time to rest because you're tired. A lot of y'all aren't realizing that you can't rest throughout the night because your body is in fight or flight mode. When you have no stabilizers and your insulin is high and you are trying to go to sleep, your body is panicking throughout the night to try to keep you alive because you should not have spiked blood sugar before you go to sleep. And so now you're sitting here tossing and turning all night. You're feeling uncomfortable. You wake up and you have no energy, even though you slept 10 to 12 hours, right? And you're trying to figure out, why in the world do I always feel tired and I feel fatigued? And so that you're drinking coffee, you're depending on coffee, or you're depending on some kind of energy supplement. And it's because this society, this world has trained you to believe that everybody has to be tired. When you're working, you're going to be tired, that you're not ever going to have any energy. But that's the common thought. The reality of what your body's norm is it's supposed to wake up with energy when you get enough hours of sleep. And if it's not, it's because your body was working overtime all throughout the night to keep you alive, to digest, to try to release, to try to figure out where to put different toxins so that you can make it to the next day. And when your blood sugar is spiked, that is really putting and wreaking havoc on your pancreas and your liver throughout the night. And so these are two aspects that are working all throughout the night instead of resetting and resting themselves. Because we know that our body never shuts off and turns off until we're in the grave. But when you're sitting there dealing with the issue of your body is working overtime throughout the night instead of resetting itself, you're never going to have any energy because it's using all the energy that you're using to rest to try to play catch up. You're playing this cat and mouse game. And so that's what I talk to my client about, of understanding why this plant-based lifestyle is going to support you and how we have to return to that space. Because the clear truth is, it's not about you just going and getting a label of vegan and being like, okay, I'm vegan now, and this is what you think that this is lifestyle is. But it's the reality of this isn't about perfection, but it's about you protecting your body and supporting the system by rebalancing. And how you protect your body and your wound specifically and your peace is understanding what the body is supposed to feel like, knowing how the body is supposed to operate, understanding the different systems in the world that has made you sick instead of being a part of the programming that has made you sick. Understand what they are trying to teach you and then remove yourself from that programming. But the first thing you have to do is stop trying to depend on a prescription, a pill, a surgery, and think that this is going to give you every single thing that you need, because it's not. It hasn't, and it won't. Because this is the same programming that has made you toxic. And there are so many people out here that think the same thing. I tried to fast. I tried this diet. I tried to go vegan, or I tried to do keto or paleo or Weight Watchers. I tried that supplement. You're taking medications. And none of these have given you the sustainable results that you're looking for. None of this lasts because you are sitting there trying to treat a symptom. You're sitting here trying to manage a symptom, instead of you getting to the root cause of, why do I need this cleanse? Why does my body need to reset? Why am I out of harmony and sync with my body? It's not about you hustling to anything. It's about you being harmonious with your body, understanding what it needs. And if you are in the space where you are tired of being exhausted and on survival mode every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, doing the same things in the same system that has made you toxic and poison, and they know that they have, and you are ready to make a plan, and you are ready to reset and get back to the feminine space of knowing what your body feels like and flowing into that. And if you have children, also supporting and helping those girls in the future of knowing what their body is supposed to feel like, not being in a hormonally chaotic space, not being sick, not sitting here thinking that birth control is a way for you to balance your hormones. And overall, knowing what your body is craving and what it's needing. You need to get into my Balanced Body program if you are ready for the full work, if you are ready for step-by-step progress, if you're ready to learn how to detoxify your full system from a plant-based space, from actual nourishment that supports the body, rebalance your hormones through cycle syncing, understand how to get to the root cause of your problem, and reconnecting to your feminine rhythm so that you're not sitting here playing a guessing game, but actually have a strategy to get you out of this toxic environment that you are currently in, out of this hustle culture. You are able to do that if you want that, if you are ready for that. Because my client that I worked with this week, that I've been working with for 2 weeks now, she's ready for that. 3 weeks, excuse me. It's been 3 weeks. She was ready for that. She got that mindset work, because that's what we start with, mindset work, and then action. She got the mindset work. She understood. And when she needed help, she reached out. She has that one-on-one session with me every single week, as well as she has our app to communicate through, because I have an app that you can communicate through for instant access. She reached out. She let me know what was going on. Immediately, we got it together. Because that's what we're supposed to do here. During that program, it's not you playing a guessing game and just hoping that something works, but it's actually a strategy that has worked for me for over 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years in October. And the only way that it was actually going to work for her, because she's tried the cleanses, she even put it in the message, she's tried different things and they haven't been sustainable. And the reason why they haven't been sustainable is because she didn't have the correct strategy to sustain it. She didn't have the correct foundation to keep it. She had little building blocks, but I've said this before, you cannot build on the foundation that already has cracks in it. And the foundation that you have been programmed into has a lot of cracks. And so instead of you being in that space, release it, change that, learn new habits, reparent the mind. But how you start doing that is realizing what your body is needing and listening to that. You were never meant to be sitting here hustling through your uncomfortable feelings and hustling through you being out of balance. You were meant to heal from a space of harmony with the body, learning how your cycle is supposed to feel and knowing how your cycle is supposed to operate and how you're supposed to eat. It's not a trend, it's for your transformation. And so you have to give yourself permission to say, changing and just trying something new is not the end of the world. Learning a new lifestyle is not going to make me hate my life if I'm doing it from the correct space of one, wanting to heal and not just be sitting here thinking that I'm tired all the time. Actually understanding what my body is supposed to feel like and learn that my body's supposed to feel like home, not something that's fighting me. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it. Because if you feel like your body is fighting you, that means you're out of sync with it. So, you don't have to feel like this anymore. Your body is not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. And if you feel like your body is broken, if you feel like there is something wrong, you're out of touch, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And it's okay that you've never known how your body was supposed to feel. But now we have to come out of the cycle of chaos and get a cycle of clarity. And that cycle of clarity comes from you syncing with your feminine essence, because your cycle is directly connected to your health. So how is your cycle treating you right now as a woman? How is your cycle making you feel? Do you dread that time? Does it feel like a punishment? Or does it feel like any other day and you're flowing through it? Do you feel tired? Do you feel fatigued? Do you feel overwhelmed? How are you feeling? Is it irregular? Is it heavy? Because if these things are happening inside the body and it's not just I'm on my cycle and you're going through it just normal, not going through it like it's taking you out. If it's doing all of that to you, that means that you have an overload of inflammation and your hormones are out of whack. And that means that you are not in a space of clarity. And so in order for you to get into that space of clarity, you have to have a strategy of how to do this. I've been doing this for quite a while and it has supported me, and I won't go back to the lifestyle of me sitting here just playing a guessing game and doing what society has programmed us into, of eating all these toxins and thinking there's something wrong with my body. Because now that I realize that there's nothing wrong with my body, but rather I was sitting here in a societal system that poisons us and profits off of it, there's the reason why they don't want you to know how to sync with your cycle, know the phases of your cycle. So if you are ready to get into that space, that program is linked in my bio. It's called the Balanced Body Program. And if you are just ready to dip your toes in, learn about it, get that same transformation that my client was actually seeing within 4 days and has messaged me about today. If you were looking more into that, the link is in my bio for that as well. It's called the Living Intentionally, Flowing Energetically Masterclass. It's LIFE. That's the acronym. If you want to see her success story, it is it is in my story. Go click my story and you can go check that out and see her little progress report that she gave me today. That was absolutely amazing. If you have any questions about anything that I have talked about today or the program, please drop them down below. I hope you guys are having a good Friday. Let me see what questions y'all have or what comments I have seen so far. Clarity. Mellow Mama says she would like to come out of the cycle of chaos into a cycle of clarity, and I love that. And I can help you with that, and I can support you with that. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it. How we start to do that is to realize that our hormones are out of whack first. And if you're asking, you already know then. And so that's one step closer. And so now that you are ready and you are ready to take action, what is going to support you? Would you like to get that masterclass? Would you like to get into that program? Because the program is one-on-one step. That is one-on-one help, it's step-by-step help. The masterclass is going to be able to get you into the mindset and taking action like my client did this week. But she's in the program, so she gets all of my masterclasses that I have during the program for free. She gets into those, as well as she gets unlimited access through our app, as well as she gets one-on-one sessions every single week with me, and a full regimen and plan we have listed on our like classroom portal, if that makes sense. Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Okay, I got you, Ella Mama. Well, claps to you. She knows how to cycle sync. And that is amazing, because knowing the phases of your cycle and knowing how to eat for your cycle is the key. For the not only for the generation that's currently here, but for the next generation that's being raised right now. Because there are too many women out here that don't know how to take care of their body from syncing with their cycle. And so we think there's something wrong with our bodies. And there's nothing wrong with our bodies. We have just been programmed into a society that poisons our bodies. And so then now our bodies feel like they're punishing us, and they're not at all. So what other questions do you guys have? Do you have any for me? If you don't have any questions, then I have answered all of them. This will be posted on YouTube next week. My live from not yesterday, my live from, I think, I want to say Tuesday, maybe. It could have been Sunday. I don't know. My live was already posted yesterday, though. I post every Tuesday and Thursday on YouTube. So if you have not followed, go on ahead and follow, subscribe to me on YouTube. Also, if you are watching this on YouTube, you can drop any questions that you have. I do check my DMs. I check my comments. I mean, not my DMs on YouTube. And I'm trying to think. Oh, if you're not on my Wellness Wednesday email, go on ahead and get on that email, because I send out a Wellness Wednesday email every single week for free. So it's just free information and things that I've learned, things that I've been looking into, and etc. Things that I can't say over here on TikTok. And that masterclass also has plenty of things that I can't say over here on TikTok while I was talking to my client during that masterclass. Living intentionally, flowing energetically, because living with intention in the space that we are currently in, with the agenda that we are currently in, is the key for you to not only be healthy, raise a next healthy generation, but also to not be sitting here hurting in your pockets, because it's already happening. They're projecting to make by 2030 to make $1 trillion profit off of people being diabetic and overweight. And we're already in the 2030 agenda as is. So I can guarantee that $1 trillion profit is probably going to be more than what they projected. There is an agenda against your health. And so in order for you to get away from that agenda, you have to stop believing in the programming and the system that you are currently in. So I'm not seeing any questions. So I'm going to hop off. Thank you guys for all the likes. I really, truly appreciate it. Like I said, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube, go ahead and subscribe too. If you do miss any parts of this live or any past lives that are posted on YouTube, I hope you guys have a great rest of y'all's weekend. Happy Friday. I will be back seeing you, if the Most High allows, on Sunday. So come back on Sunday. Have a great rest.